Happy May. I am so excited that you're here, part of my Patreon. I had sat for a while and decided if I wanted to reopen or reignite a space that was a more intentional creative community, collective community, one where I get to share what I'm working on, what inspires me, all those things. And I thought it would be really fun to do a monthly overview, a monthly spread tarot casting, since that's kind of the whole core of my practice. So I created a few spreads. I created the Spark. This is a new book that I'm starting just for 2025. And so I've got some collage elements and then the first page. And what I plan on doing with these castings is having the sticker and then being able to share the suggestion of how I read with them. And so then there's this one, and then I'm working on this one still. But happy May the 4th. If you're a Star Wars fan, May the 4th be with you. So I just thought we would get into this for an overall energy this month of what to look out for, what we might be focusing on. With this one, I'm using the images of the sticker, which is the Spark. This is one of the tiers on our Patreon, so you can see that it inspired me to create this. And then I wrote in here, like, the need to ignite is here. Nothing can begin without first being set into motion. A catalyst is needed. The candle is set. It's time to swipe the match on the strip and set our intentions into the light. So the candle, this is the vessel, the proxy for intentions dressed for success. Like, what is it that we are manifesting this month, right? And I'm using my friend Cedar's Uncertain Oracle, and it's a watercolor deck because I want to use the circle to indicate the flame here. So this is the candle. What is being manifested? Our intentions, dressed for success, all those things. Okay, let's see. And we have self-love. What a pretty theme for May. And look, with all like the May flowers, this reminds me of like a little field of blooms and blossoms. So the April showers have given way to May flowers. So we're manifesting some self-love this month. Jamie, you're in the monthly overview. I promise I'll get it right. And then again, maybe not. I'm only human. And so then we're gonna look at the two positions on the sides, and we have the shielding hand. So that's this hand coming in, and this is blocking those opposing forces. So this card is gonna help us block anything that would get in the way of our self-love. So what energy is gonna help us be that blocker, basically? And fun fact, Tim actually helped me name that one, because when I was like creating the spread for this, I was like, what, like when you're lighting a match, like what is the hand, what are they doing? And he's like, they're shielding, you know. So I was like, look at you helping me write spreads. So this is what is blocking, this is our blocker. This is the thing helping us, the energy we can call on for anything that would get in the way of our self-love. Kind of a protector. We have the Three of Pentacles. With that, I'm gonna say, like, the Three of Pentacles as a blocker, as a shield, is helping us realize that there's work to do to self-love. Yes, we love ourselves, but it's gonna be constant work, right? There's gonna be those negative thoughts, those people that would suggest things that are far from the truth that might come into our orbit, and we have to remind ourselves that, like, it takes work to keep an attitude of self-love, because every day we could be in a different mindset, or every day there could be something that comes up and you're going, this is why nothing ever works out for me, or this is why this happens, or this is why ... So the Three of Pentacles is that blocking energy of being like, yes, those forces, those words, those people, things, whatever, are always going to be there, but we can work hard. And each time it's the invitation back to where we started, back to that drawing board of why it's so important to cultivate some self-love, why it's so important to remember that your relationship with yourself is really the most important one that you'll ever have in this life, because it's the one that you're with 100%, right? So the Three of Pentacles is an invitation to block out those negative energies and get back to a practice. And you can restart at any time, right? And so the match, that is this card, that is the catalyst needed to set forth a good practice of self-love this month. And what is going to be our match? Let's see. We have the Nine of Wands, which is funny because it's literally the card that I drew to look like a book of matches. So when there's burnout, you have to remove yourself from what is causing burnout in order to regroup and go forward. So it's like the endurance card. And so the endurance and our ability to continue no matter how we're feeling is that match that sets things in motion. So it's kind of like saying, yes, there could be burnout, which is why self-love is needed. You know, there could be a reason that you're standing here and being like, I need to remove myself from the way things have been going in order to be able to proceed in a more positive mindset, in a more self-nurturing, caring mindset, realizing that you are also one of the Mayflowers, right? Like one of these things that springs up after maybe some pretty harsh conditions, you know, that you have the ability to thrive, not just survive. And so anytime that you feel burnt out with that, you know, you can go back to why this is important. The spark, so that's going to be these three cards up here. That's the initial energy created along with the action steps to keep the momentum moving this month. Three here. Let's see. We have the mountain, the fish, and the tower. Oop, get over there. Mountain, fish, and the tower. So this is that spark, you know, and at first what that's telling me is there's resistance. At first there is resistance to self-love. There is resistance to sitting in that space of worthiness and sitting in that space of understanding that you're just as beautiful as the next person, right? You're just as beautiful as everybody. And you're also just as beautiful because of your uniqueness and similarities, right? Mountain tells me that it's probably a slow start, but you're abundant and you're so vast. And the action steps that takes is like, give yourself the slowness that is needed, because this work takes time. It's big work, and in order to get there, there's some steps and lessons that you might have to learn along the way. And again, like I said, that the catalyst was the burnout of things going how they were, you know, realizing like you need to have that change. And then the Three of Pentacles is coming in and being like, let's get back to the drawing board. What is the most important thing for you in this moment that could help you get back into this space of just being like, you know what, all the outside world doesn't matter. The chatter doesn't matter. What do I need to do? What is my plan in order to be able to cultivate this path of joy for myself? And then the action, like I said, the spark, what's radiating from that is showing you where the blockages are, showing you the abundance that you want, and showing you the steps. The tower is kind of like that bigger energy. This is the pillar of who you are. It can also talk about, you know, maybe the blockages you've been wanting to expand your horizons and don't know how to do that, and there could be some higher education, or it's you know, it's just so big, but it's also abundance. So this is illuminating, the spark is illuminating the what you want, where you're blocked, so that you can go after it with a more strategic mindset. And the unknown is these three, rising up from the void to stabilize us. These are the helpers that we might need this month. That they're there, and even though you can't see them, they are helping. I got three. Okay. So we got mice, the garden, and stork. I like that the mice and the mountain are in the sort of the past positions of these things. So these are the energies that rise up from the void, the helpers from beyond, right? These are what's stabilizing our path to self-love, self-care, finding worthiness in a world that feels like it's a little bit out of kilter and chaotic at the moment. The mice is a little problem. They are the problems that gnaw away at us. They're the anxieties, the issues, all the things that fall through the cracks. But in that, they are a gift because they show us who they are. They've named themselves like this mountain, right? That could be the cause of the blockages. But they're rising up to let us know that no matter what, there's always going to be issues. Even this month, last month, what happened then didn't matter. What's coming next doesn't matter. When an issue presents itself, it's almost a gift because then you can put forth the solution, right? The garden is telling me that the community that you find yourself in, it's going to be one of your biggest helpers. Even if sometimes you think maybe the community is not exactly what I want it to be right now, and I need to move away from it. There's that. Maybe there's people in your life that you no longer need in your life, but you always have the opportunity to bring it back and ask yourself, like, how is this benefiting, or how is this contributing, or how is this hindering, and then the stork is telling me that this momentum and this energy is helping all of us, to really elevate and migrate to that next phase of who we want to be and where we find some self-love and self-worth. And then I'm going to add some little four corners. These are the energies to help spark and keep the momentum on track. So if you're feeling burnout this month, as you might because the world gets heavy, these are just some things that you can do, implement into your daily practice. Weekly, monthly, it doesn't have to be, it could just be a passing thought. So we've got, I love this, it's a pencil as a ring. So when I see that, I think about being committed to creativity. What is it that you enjoy creating? And you don't have to be a creator in the artistic sense like I am. You could be a creator in, maybe you love to garden, maybe you love to sew, maybe you love to get out and just create a day for yourself. And so just your commitment to being able to create the world that you want, right? So that's going to help you keep on track. Another booster we have is the I love you coin. And know that when you look at yourself in the mirror, just say I love you. When was the last time you did that? It's not the flip side. The flip side of this is I hate you. So this one came up as I love you. And so remember, to have self-love, you have to tell yourself that you do indeed love you. It sounds like a lot. It's hard for me, but like I mentioned earlier, your relationship with you is your greatest one. So why don't you make time to bring yourself on a date? And then we have, what is this? A penny. Oh, hey, money. So, that to me is showing that there's always going to be resources, that it's in the bank. This month, to help keep the momentum on track is, maybe some days you're full of joy and then the next you're not feeling it. But the one day that you had so much, you can just take from that if you're feeling a little down, and that's almost like that bank, right? You can remember what that feels like, and even just the mindset will bring you back into a better feeling space. And lastly, we have the Hamsa, the evil eye protection amulet. And that, to me, when I see that, I just see that it's kind of like, it's a talisman of protection, right? Cultures use it to ward off the evil eye. So if you've been feeling some sort of way this month, just know that you are protected. So maybe get yourself an amulet or a talisman. An amulet will keep negative energies away from you. So get yourself something that reminds you that you are worthy of this journey, that everything wants to work out for you. And it might bring you back to the drawing board in certain spaces because you were burnt out, so you needed to reignite that self-love. The action steps that's coming is, yes, it's a slow process, but it's a big process, and it's one that's going to bring the abundance into your life. Like I said, the bottom steps, rising up, is showing you where there were issues, so that you can connect with the people who want to see you succeed, and then that's going to help you migrate forward into your best path. Commit to your creativity and the acts of things that really bring you joy. Love yourself. Know that the bank is always there for you whenever you need to take from last week, yesterday. Maybe you need to borrow from the future joy that you know is coming, in order to keep yourself protected and in this moment. So thank you so much for being here. I promise they're not always going to be like over 15 minutes long, but it's the first one, and it's the maiden voyage of this spread. You've seen it here first. And I, again, am so happy that you're part of this new space that I've created. I'm going to go at it with love and creativity, just like the spread says. So just stay tuned. I never know what's going to come out. And if you have any suggestions that you'd like to see, if you have questions, I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything post, anything like that. Just feel free to drop me a note. If you don't want to do it publicly, you can also send me a DM, or if you have my number, you can text me, whatever. But again, I'm so thankful for you to be here and part of my community. And welcome to the Creative Divination Circle. I'm glad you're here.